MPs are calling for the government to fund free rides on buses for young people across Britain. In Scotland, under-22s can already travel on buses for free. And from next month, 16 to 21-year-olds in Wales will be able to travel for £1 per journey as well. There are free schemes and discounts available to some young people in places like London, but the Transport Select Committee say that's not good enough. And they argue that all under-22s should ride for free so they don't miss out, for example, on work opportunities or life chances. Let's go straight to you, Albie, because I know you're a big fan of this.
Yes, I am a big fan of this. So what this comes from is my mum is 62 years old. I think you're the same age as my mother, and we travel on the bus quite a lot together. And every time we get on the bus in London, we have a joke that she gets on the bus for free and I have to pay. And she always says, "Oh, I really need this free bus journey, don't I, Albie?" And I say, "Yes, you do, Mum, because you'd be destitute without your free bus pass." And I think.
So, do you mean she can easily afford to pay for it?
Yes, she can easily afford to pay for the bus. And actually, a lot of people in London.
Just got to say, I've got mine. I've got my over 60, but
you need it?
I love it.
Oh, Vanessa.
I absolutely love it. I
do.
go on the tube about 8 times a week, maybe more, 10 times a week. I don't have to pay. I can't do it in peak hours. I don't go in peak hours. I go when it's free.
I'm sure you do love it. I'm sure you do love it.
It's the best thing ever. It's the most wonderful thing. I live to be this long, this old, and it's a reward for
I'm just going to say, I might be very unpopular, but I don't think my mum, Vanessa or Carrie need a free bus pass.
I love it, though.
I know you love it. Everyone loves free things, but I think if you can afford to pay your own way, you should. And all people, almost all people under the age of 22...
Listen, getting old is no good. Apart from not being dead, there's nothing good about it except for the free bus pass. It's the only good thing about it. I just love it. You wouldn't take it away, would you?
I would take it. My mum would take it away from herself, actually. I would take it away from my mother, but not from those in need. And what I would argue is that people who are under the age of 22, they're almost all in education. They can't earn that much money because they're in education. That means that travel makes up a huge part of their outgoings, and a free bus pass could really help those people. Relatively speaking, everyone gets very angry when I say this, but people over the age of 60 and 65, relatively speaking, are the wealthiest demographic in the country. Why are we giving them free bus passes?
God, and then the other day we did it, the over 70s have to have eye tests every 5 minutes if they want to carry on driving. So they're stuck on the bus. So of course it should be free. Let's go to Nicola and see what she has to say about this.
So I agree with Albie. I think it should be, I do. I think if you can afford it, you should pay for it. You know, there's lots of children, you know, it's summer holidays, it's so expensive in summer holidays. You know, children are not getting to go places. If they could just hop on the bus for free, it would be, how nice would that be for them if they're in education? But I agree totally with you.
Parents taking their children out makes it much cheaper for that.
Yeah.
We need to rebalance.
Children do go for free, right?
No, my
depends where you are in the country. It depends how old you are. It depends where
my 15-year-old
It depends on various different local authorities. Scotland and Wales, yes. England, not so much.
Yeah.
Carrie, what do you think about this?
I'm more than happy to pay for my bus journeys, so that I'm in agreement with you there. But I think the main motivation behind this was actually slightly different. So the main motivation for doing this was to say that if young people travelled by bus, it would be part of our kind of green way of thinking. So it would mean that they would be less likely to buy cars and be travelling in other ways. They'll get on the bus and it's free. I think, why is a free bus going to make you think in a more green way than if you didn't have the free bus? Because they're on buses anyway. So it's not going to make under-22s go onto buses by making them free. They're already there.
Let's talk to Christopher. He's in Leicestershire. What do you think, Christopher? Under-22s should travel free on the bus?
I believe in this day and age that the young children, they've got parents that are struggling to pay for their fuel and pay for their food. And I think if young people are over the 16, they should have free bus travel because it would make the economy go round.
You mean so it would persuade people to travel more? But then what? If it makes the economy go round, you're imagining they have money to spend whenever they get to where they're going. Because if they're going free and coming back for free and they haven't got much money, they won't be spending any money, will they?
But Vanessa, if you look at the buses now these days, they're nearly all empty. Where I'm living anyway.
Is that right?
Not in London, they're not.
Right, so you think it would take the burden off cash-strapped parents, so it would be a good idea. Thanks so much for that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Richard in Newport. What do you think, Richard?
What I interpreted, what I heard on the news, or what not on the news, was it came up that free buses to under-22s was an idea to give the kids more chance to go looking for work. Well, that's okay, providing there's a services there which would provide that for them. But in the instance where I live, there is a nice area which has got a lot of people shop in the area. It's 20 miles away. Now, if they were got a job which meant they work from, say, 10 till 6, the last bus leaves it at 5:20 in the evening. They couldn't work for that company.
Well,
That's where it needs.
That's an excellent point, isn't it? And that's the whole thing. I forgive the cliche, but the joined-up thinking part of it all, isn't it? If you give them,
correct.
Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense if you don't just connect the dots and make sure that it all works out. And you're excellent to point that out. And it's absolutely pointless if they can't get a job and do a full day's work. Quite right, Richard. Thank you so much for calling. Let's go to Martin in Hertfordshire. What do you think, Martin?
I used to be a bus driver. I used to work for a local bus company. And obviously every year you'd see the prices of the buses going up and getting more expensive, and you'd see the children getting on with, putting all the shrapnel out their pocket to be able to pay for a bus ticket to get to the town or back home. And so I think that obviously up to the age of 22, I'd say is a little bit high. But up to, say, the age of 20, then, people are in school now until the age of 18.
Yeah.
So I think that to give them that extra couple of years to get into employment, to start to get their finances straight, that should be allowed.
Let me ask you, while you're here, because you're a valuable resource, a career as a bus driver, do you think it's a good career choice?
It has its good points, it has its bad points. You do get a lot of abuse from various people who want to get on the bus free of charge, and they're not entitled to it. And then you get the ones that are entitled to it, they come on and there's arguments about where they're going to sit. And it is a good career, but it's not fantastically paid for the amount of abuse that you do actually have to put up with throughout that job.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for ringing, doing an absolutely vital job, of course.